This golden disc has given me untold advantage. The things I could accomplish now. We were waiting for you.
Hello everyone and welcome, this is Common and Cam. Today we're going to be talking about everything we know so far about the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy's third season, Kingdom. We got a lot of stuff crammed into this season, a lot of brand new characters, a brand new setting, a lot of timelines, a lot of different multiversal kind of layers, basically a lot of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. I feel like this season is going to be the more confusing season because we've got so many characters from different timelines overlapping with each other. You know, we've got future versions of other characters and we've got past versions but also present versions as well. And I just kind of hope within this 6-episode season that the writers are able to kind of cram it in and not left anything on the cutting room floor, like everything's kind of roughly explained. I feel like there may be a few things that may be left kind of like unanswered. But it is only 6 episodes, so I don't know. They might be able to put it off, they might not. But I'm just going to be talking about what we know so far from the previous seasons and kind of give a good recap of the current characters and also the new characters, like what will their roles be in this season and what do we know about them so far. First off, I want to talk about the AllSpark, the thing that kind of set this series to start off first, like a good siege recap of that. Obviously, as we know, the Autobots and Decepticons fighting over the AllSpark, and Optimus Prime launched the AllSpark into the space bridge, and the AllSpark is kind of missing. It has gone out there, and the Earthrise season was all about them trying to find it again. And well, I feel like we'll have the AllSpark in this third season of Kingdom, where it will be, it'll be on Earth, and the Autobots and Decepticons, will be going to try and find it, and the Maximals and Predacons as well, they'll also be brought into the mix. There's like a temple of sorts in the poster actually that we can see, will be kind of like the final episode, final battle, and where the Autobots and Decepticons will be fighting for the Matrix to get hold of it. The AllSpark won't be the only important artifact in this season. The Golden Disc has a big role to play as well. For those who don't know what the Golden Disc was, it was a main artifact in the Beast Wars cartoon. A bunch of Predacons actually stole the Golden Disc and it was the Maximal's job to retrieve it. But in this series it might be played up a little bit differently because we saw Galvatron try to give Megatron the Golden Disc in a way of rewriting his future. The Golden Disc basically holds the power to change the universe forever. It's got specific destinies written on it for certain characters. It has a lot of messages about Earth and as the key to unlocking transwarp technology. It's basically a major artifact that plays in a big role within this whole paradoxes and different kind of timelines. Now the Golden Disc has written destinies out for the Autobot Arc, Black Arachnia, Dinobot, Megatron and Optimus Prime. And within the Kingdom toy line, depending on what toy you buy, there will be some golden cards found of one of these characters. But you'll find a certain point in that timeline of that character, whether it's the beginning, middle or end. And this actually has major spoiler consequences. So if you don't want to know anything about the ending of Kingdom or any of the characters that I've just mentioned on where they end up, click off this video now. These golden cards basically reveal presumably what is the end result of what the characters will be within the show. Now whether or not they'll change it a little bit for the series, I'm not sure. Some of them aren't too major spoilers, but some of them are, like Optimus Prime, Megatron, Dinobot and Black Arachnia. I'd say the only one that's kind of alright is the Autobot Arc, because if you don't know already, the Arc will be transforming in this series, presumably by the AllSpark actually. But when it comes to Black Arachnia, we see her becoming a Maximal but then also ascending to the leader of the Predacons. And with Dinobot, we see him leading a united faction and becoming a Maximal, but then becomes Dynamus, Herald of Unicron. And then with Megatron, he returns to the Gladiator fighting pits, but then he also becomes Galvatron. And with Optimus Prime, we'll see him die in battle, but then also come back to lead a golden age. And as you can see in this final card of Optimus Prime, we have the Maximals and Bumblebee in the background, so it's assumed that the Autobots did actually win the war at the end of the series. Who knows if it'll play out exactly. There could be a lot of different twists and turns, but considering the toy line and the shows are inextricably linked, we'll just have to wait and see. And while we're still on the topic of parallel universes, I'll talk about the two characters that play a part of this, Galvatron and Nemesis Prime. Now, in episode 5 of Earthrise, Skylink showed a dark version of Optimus Prime's future, that being Nemesis Prime. And you know it's dark because he kicks an innocent rat. And as we see in the official trailer, we have Nemesis Prime and Galvatron on pre-Ice Age Earth, battling the Autobots and the Maximals in a big epic battle, hoping to change their combined destinies. Now, I wasn't sure if we were going to see Galvatron again, considering in Earthrise episode 5 as well, Galvatron was pulled back into his original timeline by Unicron, as Galvatron tried his best to desperately change his timeline by giving Megatron the golden disc, but he was pulled back just before doing so. But somehow he manages to escape once again and teams up with Nemesis Prime. It's just a fun way of seeing both twisted versions of Optimus Prime and Megatron in the same universe. Now, whether or not Galvatron will still have possession of his version of a golden disc is yet to be seen, because then that will be 2 golden discs happening at once. Because we see Beast Wars Megatron in the trailer showing Megatron the golden disc, so whether or not that's his version of a golden disc, so that'll be just a little bit confusing. Like, is that how it'll work out, or has Unicron taken possession of the golden disc that Galvatron was going to give to Megatron? Now, when it comes to the Maximals and Predacons, they'll pretty much still be the same as they were in the Beast Wars cartoon, but the Maximals travelled across time to find the AllSpark and change the fate of Cybertron, while battling the Predacons on a pre-Ice Age Earth. So it seems that they are still from the future, and they will be coming across their past. But I don't want anyone to be confused and assume that Optimus Primal and Beast Wars Megatron are the same as Optimus Prime and Megatron. They are totally separate characters. They just took on their names because, well, they were inspired by him. The only characters that are the same of Optimus Prime and Megatron are Nemesis Prime and Galvatron. Now, just talking about the Matrix for a brief second, obviously in the last season Megatron stole the Matrix from Optimus Prime. He now has possession of it, and we'll be seeing how Optimus Prime is dealing with that. The fact that he let this, this important ancient artifact of the Transformers being stolen from him, being taken with Megatron, and we'll hopefully see Megatron dealing with the Matrix himself. It seems like he's just like having it around his neck so far, like jewelry, like he's not actually got it inside his chest, so maybe he'll be conflicted of sorts with having the Matrix actually inside his chest. Maybe the Matrix will reject him, or maybe it will be the key to finding the AllSpark on Earth, and Megatron will simply be using it for that. There's a lot of artifacts in play here. They really have combined an awful lot in this season, along with the different universe and eras of characters. But I think this season will definitely go out with a bang. I mean, they definitely have the Arc transforming, and I assume that will be because of the AllSpark itself. The Autobots will be struggling to win the fight, and the AllSpark will be used as sort of a last minute help, kind of an edge they need to end the fight. Because we've got Maximals and Autobots versus Decepticons and Predacons, with Nemesis Prime and Galvatron into the mix as well. It's basically going to be a really big mess of a confusing season, but hopefully if it's written right and really well paced, it is kind of worrisome at first, but who knows, maybe they'll just be able to pull it off. But they're kind of the key things so far about the Transformers series. With Siege, it was pretty much like the AllSpark, being thrown into the space bridge, and the Earthrise was fine in that, where the Autobots and Decepticons struggling. But then we got a leader back on Cybertron as well, her battle with Shockwave. We'll see how that kind of plays out in this series as well. I don't want to go too much into Alita 1 because that is pretty much up in the air of how that could turn out. I don't think Alita 1 is going to be dead. However, I think Optimus Prime, in his sort of conscious mode that we saw at the beginning of the trailer, he'll just be kind of dealing with the fact that he's lost of hope, really. Without the Matrix, he'll feel like a failure. And because his relationship with Alita 1 is so personal, she'll be there kind of in his head to help him out and to kind of get him back up his feet and start being a leader again. And we'll see him face his demons, like with Ultra Magnus as well. There's going to be a lot going off in the season. There'll be more videos to come down the line. It's really exciting seeing Beast Wars mixed in with this, obviously G1 inspired style. When it came to the original Beast Wars continuity, they definitely connected it to Generation 1, but you could still treat them as like separate shows. But this time they've decided to actually combine it with the past and future characters together. This time the Autobots are not just unconscious in the arc, so hopefully it's really done well. This will definitely be the backbone to what will be the movie Rise of the Beast, because they are starting now with the Beast Wars characters, because really people want to see the Beast Wars characters again, and this is going to have to be really done right to get other people on board of it as well. You know, this will be the second time really that we'll properly see the Beast Wars characters. And the voice acting is probably the only thing I'm worried about. You know, I think that will be the one thing that will stop me from enjoying this series to its fullest, because you know, we've got Beast Wars characters with such iconic voice actors attached to them that people still remember to this day. I don't know, I'm just kind of anxious really for it, because you know, with Netflix, if they actually put the budget to the voice cast like they did with the animation, you know, they actually just cut that in half. You're like, alright, we'll put it all into the animation with the voice acting. Unfortunately, we're going to have to pay less. And obviously with Netflix not being union, it's harder to find the big profile voice actors, you know, and that did originally voice these characters to begin with. Not that we are expecting the same ones, but at least give us good quality voice actors. But I don't know, I haven't heard the rest yet. I've just heard Optimus Primals, and I don't know, I'm just not really looking forward to it. But I know, I could be surprised with other characters as well. Anyway guys, that's all I got to report. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. For more Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy news, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to get all updates instantly. This has been Common and Cam, and until the next video, goodbye.